Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to talk about a bunch of new Pokemon, which are coming around in Mega Dreamy X. Something like 15 here, which you need to know about, which could end up being sneaky good. Sounds like a plan? Excellent. Start off with Dustox here, and a reminder that I do all these translations myself, although I have checked with the lovely Antoine Boulet, because frankly, they are better at Japanese than I am, so checking with them is a pretty good idea. Although I think I got all these right this time, so I'm very proud of myself. What have we got with Dustox here? We've got an ability that says, once during a turn you may flip a coin, and if heads, you put an energy card from your opponent's active Pokemon back into their hand. No, it doesn't need to be active. No, it is not hard limited to once per turn. In theory, you can have 4 Dustox on the bench, flip 4 coins a turn, and return an energy from your opponent's active, and it does have to be their active, to their hand once a turn, for heads. So it could be 3 or 4. It's really nice. Control decks are going to love this. It is going to be absurd. Doesn't discard, it goes back to the hand. But if you're not accelerating energy from the hand, this might be even better. The attack is 2 energy, 100, poison and sleep. It's fine, especially in a pre-release. It's not good. It is the ability here that we are particularly worried about. This is one of the ones in this that I think we really need to consider as potentially very good. Stunfisk for 1 lightning energy does 30 damage, stops your opponent retreating, and then they take 100 from attacks next turn. Very important to note, the defending Pokemon takes 100 more from attacks next turn. Not necessarily from Stunfisk. Yes, Stunfisk can hit for 130 next turn, absolutely, but you could bring in something else to do even more. We like Pokemon that stop retreating right now. This stops them retreating and sets them up for a big hit next turn. Again, keep an eye out for this one. We see Pokemon seeing play right now to stop retreating. This does a little bit more, but it is for a lightning energy. Now, Heliolisk is one I'm very interested in. The ability says that once during your turn, if you've played Canary from your hand during this turn, search the deck for 2 basic lightning and attach them to this Pokemon. You do have to play Canary as your supporter. If you've not played Canary as your supporter for the turn, you can't use the ability. As a quick reminder, Canary says that you have to discard a card from your hand, but then you search for 4 lightning Pokemon and put them into your hand. Which means that you can actually go and search out your Heliolisk line and then go and get the energy with your ability, which is activated because you played Canary. Not too shabby, frankly, ladies and gentlemen. Not too shabby. And then the attack is 3 energy, flip a coin for each energy attached to this Pokemon and deal 70 damage for each heads. Yeah. You know what? Keep using the ability, keep getting energy on here, and then flip a lot of heads. 120 HP makes me a little bit nervous, but this one could be really kind of fun. Now, we've got a Spectrier here, which I meant to talk about after Dustox. I'm supposed to be going in order, but I forgot, so let's just pop him in now. And what we got from Spectrier here is a basic water Pokemon, 130 HP, and for a single energy, you do 20 to the active, 20 to one on the bench. Fine in the early game, pretty good in a pre-release. And free energy, 130, and it cannot use this attack during your next turn. I'll be honest with you, this one is more just spreading a bit of damage around in the early game. Better for pre-releases, but we've got a new Spectrier and Glastrier, and we don't see them very often, so I think we should at least mention them. We are getting ourselves a new Tapu Koko in this set. For a single energy, you discard your hand and draw 5 cards. It's fine. But you can use it on your first turn going first. So now, you've got this that you can use on your first turn going first. You've got Carmine that you can use as a supporter turn 1 going first. At least until the rotation, we've got ourselves Squawkabilly that you can use turn 1 going first, and all of a sudden the options for just drawing a redonkulous amount of cards and getting set up really nicely, even if you go first, is increasing massively. Keep an eye out for this one. I think this might be another one where people are going to use this to make some speedy decks. Now, I've told you trainers Pokemon are back. We got Team Rocket's Exeggutor, 2 energy, flip 3 coins. If all of them are heads, knock out one of your opponent's Pokemon. It does not say active. It says choose one of your opponent's Pokemon. They are KO'd. And you can use this for a Team Rocket's energy. Now, there's like a 1 in 8 chance of flipping 3 heads in a row. You're probably not going to do it, but it's for a single energy. You can knock out active or bench. I'm only looking at this as an emergency. I'm going to lose a game if this doesn't work attack. But as an emergency, I'm going to lose a game if this doesn't work attack. This is actually kind of sneaky awesome. I have got my eye on this one. Again, only as an emergency. I'm going to lose quick. I need an emergency. But as I'm going to lose quick. I need an emergency. This is actually sneaky, kind of very fun. There are some interesting cards coming in this set. Now, we've also got ourselves a Mismagius coming in here. And for a Psychic and a Colorless, 60 damage. But if your opponent's active is affected by a special condition, put 6 damage counters on one of your opponent's bench. So in any deck that's using special conditions, and there are some of them out there, you do 60 to the active, drop 6 damage counters on the bench. That is kind of fun. And of course, in a special condition deck, you're going to be having a lot of fun. Do remember that in Phantasmal Flames, you got Mismagius EX, which makes your opponent confused whenever they move to the bench during their turn. So I'm just saying, maybe there's a combo to be made here. Worth noting that the Misdreavus does have Ascension, so it's just a single energy that lets you search for a card that evolves from it and pop it on. Now we've got Rotom, comes in to support all those other Rotom we've had recently. For a single energy, you get to search for any number of Pokemon with Rotom in their name, put them on their bench. And then for 2 energy, Gadget Show does 30 damage for each Pokemon tool attached to all of your Pokemon. And bearing in mind we had the Rotom EX in Phantasmal Flames that lets you have 2 Pokemon tools on each of your Rotom. And this is one, it's a bit of a gimmick deck, but tell me you can't see this working with the right build. It's another one which I think we should be keeping an eye on. Speaking of trainers Pokemon, we got one new little one for Hop. We got Hop's Trevenant, and for a single energy, it does 30 damage, but 100 more, 130 total, if any of your Hops Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Yes, I do think that could be kind of fun. Seriously, as a revenge attack, this one's nice. Only works in Hop decks, but it does work in Hop decks. The other attack is free energy 19, it stops them retreating, not terribly impressed. It is the revenge attack we're looking at. We do also have a Phantump that just for a single energy, flip a coin, and if heads, it's basically invincible next turn. No damage, no effects of attacks. Just in terms of buying time until you can get your Trevenant, this is actually moderately useful. Now I showed you Glastrier, so here's Spectrier. Single energy 30, meh. But free energy, discard all energy from this Pokemon and put 12 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Let me be very clear. While we still have Gardevoir EX in the format, this is legitimately amazing. Like, genuinely brilliant, because you can accelerate the energy super easily, and then you drop 12 damage counters. You're not doing damage, so anything blocking damage, you can still go through. You are just dropping 12 damage counters, and with Gardevoir accelerating energy, it's a basic Pokemon. There really is no downside. I love it. When we hit the rotation and we lose Gardevoir, it becomes a lot worse, and that's going to happen pretty soon after this comes out. But while we can accelerate Psychic Energy really easily, being able to drop 12 damage counters, and it all has to be in the same place, but being able to drop 12 damage counters is pretty awesome. Now, one of my favourite cards from the set is Medicham. I love this Medicham. Plus, there's a decent chance we get a Mega Medicham EX soon, so that means we can pair them together. Single energy, 150, that's amazing. There must be a catch. There is. You got to have exactly 7 cards in hand. You have to be playing draw engines and supporters, etc., that leave you with exactly 7 cards in your hand. But even having said that, play Lily's Determination. You've got 6 cards in hand. Hope the one's a fighting energy. Discard it using Lunatone. And then you draw 3 cards to go up to 8, so you need to play one of those cards. And then you're down to 7. And you get to use one of the cards. So don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen, you can absolutely manipulate to try and get 7 cards in hand. It's not going to be perfect or the easiest thing to pull off every turn, but it is 150 for a single energy on a stage 1 single prizer. I'm telling you, if you build this properly, this could work. Speaking of hyper-specific requirements on fighting Pokemon, Coalossal here, single energy, it does 140 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. As long as you've got 10 or more basic fighting energy in your discard pile. If you don't, the attack does nothing. If you do, yeah, that's kind of fun. It is on a stage 2 though, so I'm not loving it. Again, do remember that Lunatone will really help you get the energy in your discard. This one I like a lot less than Medicham, although you can hit the bench with this. Free energy, 220, discard free. No, not liking that at all. Now, Galarian Obstagoon makes a nice little return here. And for 2 energy, 70 damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. It's a stage 2 and it's not a single energy, but I honestly think this could be good. Remember, Toxtricity right now accelerates energy. But as it accelerates energy, it puts damage on the Pokemon to which it is accelerating energy. And then, and this is very important, pairs brilliantly with Munkidori to move damage from your Pokemon to your opponents. And if you move like 6 damage with Munkidori, which is not that big an ask, you're doing an absurd amount of damage. 420. 6 damage counters, 70 for each, 420. And then it's actually 480 times they've got the 6 damage counters on them. Free energy, 160, discard 1, nah mate, nobody cares. But the first attack here, this one, if you're willing to get a stage 2 out, between Toxtricity and Munkidori, you can do huge damage with this. Bear this one in mind. We've got ourselves a Pecharunt. The ability says, if it's knocked out by damage from an attack, search your deck for any card and put it into your hand. It's fine. The attack is 20 damage, then next turn it does 50 more. So in a pre-release, this dude is absolutely busted. Single energy 20, but then it starts doing 70, and when it goes away, you can search for a card which is super useful in a pre-release deck, which are generally not that consistent anyway. In standard, I feel a little too slow, but this could be a pre-release all-star. And then finally, we got Rayquaza here. Free energy 130, oh my goodness, no. But lightning colorless, 20 damage, 110 if it moved from the bench to the active during this turn. You're dragon, so you're not hitting anything for weakness, which is a little bit sad. But 110 for 2 energy on a single prizer. This can get a lot of KOs. This is worth thinking about. There are some good cards in Mega Dream EX. You know, the Dustox, which can get rid of energy on a coin flip. The Tapu Koko, which can have a draw attack, turn 1 going first. The Spectrier that can drop 12 damage counters in decks where we know we can accelerate psychic energy. There are some better hidden gems in this set than there normally are, but I have told you about them all now. So now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these cards. Tell me which ones you think could be good. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Unknown One, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and seems to be a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.